In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on April 19, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Miami Marlins versus Philadelphia Phillies. The two division rivals from the National League East are set to clash in Philadelphia for the second game of their weekend series. Despite going through yet another rebuilding phase, the Marlins have managed to stay competitive early in the season. Meanwhile, the Phillies are locked in on a bigger goal, bringing home their first World Series championship since 2008. In last year's head-to-head matchups, Philadelphia edged out Miami with a narrow 7-6 advantage. So far this season, the Phillies have settled in comfortably at Citizens Bank Park, putting up a solid 7-3 record in their first 10 games at home. The Marlins, on the other hand, haven't spent much time on the road yet and are sitting at 2-3 away from home. Quantrill is coming off a rough outing, where the 5 walks he issued really stood out. He's been hittable all season. Philadelphia's offense has been clicking lately, scoring at least 4 runs in 4 straight games, and that trend could continue here. They've been noticeably more productive at home than on the road, nearly scoring a full run more per game. Walker is looking to bounce back after a tough start on Monday. He opened the season with 6 scoreless innings against Colorado at home, so there's reason to think he can quiet Miami's lineup. It's worth noting that nearly all of the Marlins' losses this year have come by multiple runs. Philadelphia's strong lineup should get plenty of opportunities to do damage against Quantrill on Saturday afternoon. He's already allowed 19 hits over just 14 innings and hasn't been missing many bats. He's only struck out 8 batters all year. That means the Phillies are likely to be putting balls in play consistently, which could spell trouble for Miami in a ballpark like Citizens Bank Park that tends to favor hitters. Walker, meanwhile, has put together a respectable season so far as he aims to hold on to a consistent spot in the rotation after splitting time between starting and relieving last year. He's recorded 14 strikeouts in just under 16 innings, and he'll be trying to limit contact again here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia Phillies money line is our full game side pick. This game features 2 offenses that haven't exactly been lighting up the scoreboard. They both rank in the bottom half of the National League in runs scored. Still, both teams have allowed a fair number of runs too, with each surrendering at least 82 so far this season. Miami's bats have shown flashes, scoring 7 or more runs twice in their last 5 games. They've also managed to put up 4 or more runs in 7 of their last 8 games, which might be enough in a spot like this. The Phillies have plated 6 runs twice in their last 3 outings and have scored at least 4 in 4 of their last 6. Looking at recent matchups between these two, the over has hit in 6 of the last 10 games, and in the last 7 meetings, at least one team has scored 5 or more. Both teams have also seen the over cash in 4 of their last 5 overall. Walker may be having a better start to this season, but it's hard to ignore that he had a home earned run average north of 6 last year. He also struggled during day games, with similar numbers in those outings. Quantrill's numbers don't inspire much confidence either. He's sitting on an earned run average close to 6 this year and had an earned run average over 5 on the road last season. He's up against a Philadelphia lineup that's pushed across 16 runs in their last 3 games heading into Friday night series opener. They've also hit 18 home runs so far, and they should be able to make some loud contact against Quantrill. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Kansas City Royals versus Detroit Tigers. This Saturday, the Kansas City Royals are set to face off against the Detroit Tigers at Comerica Park. It's game 3 of a 4-game set, and with the way things have been going, it's shaping up to be another rough one for Kansas City. The Tigers are on a tear this April, putting together an 11-5 run so far. They've been in control through the first 2 games of the series, outscoring the Royals 13-4, and they're hoping to keep things rolling on Saturday. Kansas City's bats have gone quiet lately, and with Casey Mize getting the start for Detroit, the Royals may be in for another tough day at the plate. Mize has looked sharp early in the season and could pose another big problem for Kansas City's slumping lineup. Even with Cole Ragans on the mound Friday night, the Royals couldn't contain Detroit's offense, and there's little reason to think Saturday will be any different with Seth Lugo pitching. Lugo holds a 1-2 record with a 3.86 earned run average so far, and in his last outing against the Yankees, he gave up 4 earned runs over 6.2 innings. Mize, on the other hand, has put together a solid 2-1 record with a 2.6 earned run average across 17.1 innings. His WHIP sits at 1.04 with 15 strikeouts and just 5 earned runs allowed. Meanwhile, Kansas City has hit only .209 over its last 15 games, and though Bobby Witt Jr. is doing all he can, batting .345 in that stretch, it's hard to imagine that being enough against a red-hot Detroit squad. With Mize on the bump and the Royals still struggling to string hits together, the Tigers look poised to take control once again. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. In 4 of the last 5 games between these two teams, the under has been the right play. That's not too shocking considering it's a divisional matchup between clubs that don't score much, especially in the American League Central where runs can be hard to come by. While Detroit has shown they can put runs up at home, their offense overall has been hit or miss. Kansas City's struggles are more consistent. They're averaging just 1.9 runs over their last 10 games. Seth Lugo will be looking to bounce back from his rough outing in New York, and Casey Mize will want to keep riding the wave of his early season success. Both teams have reliable bullpens behind their starters, which helps keep games tight and low scoring. Lately, both of these teams have been trending under the total. The Royals have gone under in 10 of their last 13 contests, a clear sign that their offense just hasn't been getting the job done. The Tigers haven't been scoring a ton either, falling under the total in 9 of their last 12 games. When Detroit is favored, they've hit the under in 5 of the last 8, and Kansas City has gone under in 8 of the last 12 games following a loss. Considering Detroit's solid pitching and Kansas City's continued lack of offensive punch, this feels like another game where runs will be hard to come by. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Arizona Diamondbacks versus Chicago Cubs. This Saturday, the Arizona Diamondbacks are set to take on the Chicago Cubs at the iconic Wrigley Field. Friday's game between these two teams turned into an exciting slugfest, but Saturday could look a little different. With Gallen taking the mound for Arizona, this seems like a solid opportunity for the Diamondbacks to snag a win. Gallen has the tools to keep the Cubs' bats in check, and on the other side, Brown hasn't exactly been sharp lately. The Cubs have been swinging the bats well overall, and there's a case to be made for riding their momentum. But I'm still leaning toward Arizona here, mostly because of Gallen's presence and the decent value on the line. Sure, Gallen hasn't been lights out to start the year. 21.1 innings, 19 hits, 11 runs, and 11 walks isn't great, but anyone who's followed him knows he's one of the top arms in the league. You're not going to find Gallen at this kind of price very often, and I'll take a bargain on an ace any day. As our first pick for this matchup, the Arizona Diamondbacks money line is our full game side pick. Gallen hasn't come out of the gate as strong as expected, and Brown has also had trouble settling in this season. Wrigley Field is always a bit of a wild card, especially when the wind is blowing out like it was on Friday. Home runs tend to pile up fast. On top of that, both bullpens have been shaky to start the year, which opens the door for late-game scoring. It's worth noting that the Cubs are 14-7-1 when it comes to hitting the over, while the Diamondbacks are 9-8-3 in that same category. Even with Gallen pitching, the total for this game feels a little too low given all the other variables. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Seattle Mariners versus Toronto Blue Jays. Two American League squads trying to get something going will kick off a 3-game setup in Canada Friday night as the Seattle Mariners hit the road to face the Toronto Blue Jays. Both teams are looking to string together some wins and find their footing. Seattle heads into the series after pulling off a comeback win on Thursday in Cincinnati, taking the final game of that series 11-7 in 10 innings. Toronto, meanwhile, wrapped up their own 3-game set at home with a 3-1 win over Atlanta on Wednesday night. Looking back at last season, Toronto had the upper hand in the head-to-head, winning 4 of 6 matchups, including 2 out of 3 on the road in a series played July 5th and July 7th, 2024. Logan Gilbert has pitched better than his record shows so far this year, with his numbers under the hood looking pretty strong. He's been racking up strikeouts but hasn't been able to go deep into games lately. His last 3 outings haven't lasted past 5. and 2/3 innings. That might be an issue, especially considering the Mariners' bullpen had to work overtime Thursday thanks to extra innings, and now they're right back at it. Jose Berrios, on the other hand, has started to find a rhythm after getting shelled in his first start of the year. He's always been comfortable pitching at Rogers Center, and that could give him an edge. Offensively, neither lineup has been especially dependable. Both teams have had their ups and downs at the plate all year. When comparing the pitching staffs, there's a noticeable contrast in how they command the zone. Seattle sits 20th in the majors with a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 2.29, while Toronto is near the top, currently ranking 4th with a 3.35 mark. Digging into the batted ball stats, the difference gets even clearer. The Mariners rank 28th in the league with a .254 team batting average on balls in play, which suggests they're not getting much luck or solid contact. Toronto is doing a lot better in that department with a .301 BABIP, putting them in 10th place. Recent history also leans toward the Blue Jays. They've come out on top in 5 of the last 7 games between these two. I understand why someone might lean towards Seattle, especially with Gilbert on the mound. He's one of the stronger arms they've got, but the concern is that he hasn't pitched away from home yet this season, and last year he wasn't as sharp on the road. Considering that and the way Toronto has handled this matchup in the past, I think the Blue Jays can take care of business here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Toronto Blue Jays money line is our full game side pick. Gilbert has the stuff to shut hitters down when he's on, and Berrios has bounced back nicely this month, sporting a 3.57 earned run average in April. Still, neither of these offenses has come through with runners in scoring position this season. Seattle, in fact, ranks dead last in the league with a dismal .531 team OPS in those situations. Toronto hasn't been much better, coming in at 21st with a .664 team OPS when these teams have played each other lately. Runs haven't exactly been flying across the plate. The under has hit in 6 of their last 9 matchups. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. St. Louis Cardinals versus New York Mets. The two former National League East foes will meet again in New York for the second game of their 3-game series. The Cardinals have had a rough time away from home, managing just 1 win before heading into Friday night's game. The Mets, meanwhile, are aiming to claim the National League East crown this year and make a serious run toward their first World Series appearance since 2015. Senga has looked locked in during his last 2 outings, giving up 0 runs across both starts. He's only allowed 1 homer through his first 3 appearances this season. There's simply too much firepower on this Mets team for them to not be in the postseason picture. With guys like Pete Alonso and Soto holding it down in the heart of the lineup, this offense can put runs on the board. They've gotten off to a slow start, sure, but with warmer weather coming, players like Soto are likely to get hot soon. Liberator has turned in a solid effort so far, pitching 18.1 innings with decent results. But St. Louis has had trouble closing out games, and losing the opener doesn't do much to help their morale. On the other side, the Mets have to be feeling pretty good. Senga has been lights out over 17 innings, surrendering just 12 hits and 2 earned runs. He hasn't allowed a single run in his last 12 innings while punching out 15 batters. It's hard to go against the Mets in this one. They've been strong at Citi Field, while the Cardinals are still trying to figure things out on the road. The Mets haven't seen many lefties yet this season, but they handled them well last year with a .769 OPS against southpaws, good for 5th in the league. Senga also had a solid showing the last time he faced St. Louis back in 2023, giving up just 2 hits and 1 run over 7 innings while striking out 5. New York has also taken 5 of the last 6 matchups against the Cardinals. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Mets money line is our full game side pick. Both starting pitchers have been sharp, especially in their most recent outings. Even though the Mets have the bigger bats on paper, the offense hasn't really clicked yet. They're hitting only .224 as a team and sit 22nd in home runs. But they've been excellent on the mound, with a league-best 2.39 earned run average. Their games have leaned toward the low-scoring side lately, with 5 of their last 7 going under, while the Cardinals have seen the under hit in 7 of their last 9. These two clubs have gone under in 3 of their last 4 meetings and in 7 of the last 9. The Mets are 6-14 when it comes to hitting the over this season, and just 2-6 on the over at home. At Citi Field, their team OPS is .712, ranking 19th in the league. The Cardinals haven't done much damage away from home either, hitting just 5 home runs on the road, which puts them among the league's bottom 7. Citi Field isn't friendly to hitters either, with a park factor of 97 over the past 3 seasons, placing it among the toughest ballparks for offense. With 2 capable starters and a Mets bullpen that's been locking things down with a 0.97 WHIP, this game has all the makings of a low-scoring affair. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.